Hello, and welcome back to Reds in Europe. Me, I'm Matt. Hey! And I'm joined by Mr. Michael Moran. How are you, Mick?
All good, mate. You? All good.
Yeah,
Got a nice little setup now with me mic and that, so I'm all good. I'm happy.
very
Got
professional,
a
making me
laptop.
look,
A
making me look
professional.
very unprepared. Let's get stuck into a little preview of Ajax, and I thought we'd pop straight into Klopp's press conference. He dropped a few juicy little tidbits for us to discuss, and I think the first one will be he had a little pop at people being harsh on Nico Williams, and he didn't specifically say Nico Williams. He said the young kids in general, but let's be honest, Phillips and Reece have been pretty solid. No one's really complained about them. It's been Nico getting all the flack. And Klopp said that this could be due to the fact that people are comparing him to the world-class player that he's replacing in Trent, which has a bit of legs to it. I still don't think that Nico Williams is up to scratch, to be fair. But I think that Klopp has got a bit of a point, especially comparing him to Trent. It is going to highlight his flaws a bit more, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's a victim of circumstance, isn't he, in a way, because he's been thrust into the limelight. In reality, we would have only hoped to have played him probably less than 10 games this season in rotation, and games where we needed to rest Trent. If he was overloaded, would say 3 games in a week or whatever, we needed to rotate him. But he's came in and he's it's just a shame that the games that have gone by in the past as well, he's not really shone. That's the only problem. But like we said, he's 19 years of age, so it's difficult to slate him at this moment in time because he's been thrown into the firing line. And I'm sure if you rewound the clock and threw Trent into the firing line just from an injury, if we had a world-class right back and then Trent got thrown in, it'd be the exact same. And like for me, Trent is now world-class, but he's grown into his position and he's grown into the player he is now after giving him time and support. So it's only right that we do with the same with another young lad who's coming through, who's still a child really, and he's got a lot to learn. So it's going to be a lot of ups and downs for him, but he's at no better club and under no better manager than Jurgen Klopp to perform really well. But we just need to give him the time and realise that he's gonna put in a few shit performances, but we need to ride the wave, so to speak, and just know that he'll come good in the end because he's surrounded by quality all over the pitch. So, and once we start getting main fellas back in the team, should be all right, because it's especially with having so many injuries, that's not great for him as well, because usually we've got a solid back four, really reliable in terms of injuries, and obviously Van Dijk missing this huge, Gomez and Matip injury wise aren't great, but usually we're all right in terms of a structured and not too many changes. That's you can say about a Klopp team. Not many changes happen. So the fact that he's been thrown in at a time where loads of changes are happening, then that's only going to make him play worse. So yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? But he needs to we need to play him into form. Really, I know he's still a kid, but we need to persist with him. Otherwise, what's the point? And I've seen a lot of Keanu Hoover shouts, but that's been and gone. And we got Diego Jota now, so out of that deal or whatever, he went the other way, didn't he? So yeah, Neil Williams all the way.
Well, going to throw a bit of a curveball here then, just because of that little comment. Evening, Greg. So persist with Nico Williams then. Would you start him tomorrow night, or would you throw someone else in?
If it was me personally, I'd I'd throw him in again, because if you don't, then you've got obviously Millie's usually the one that goes straight in there, isn't he? But he's out as well, so it's either a case of a Hendo or a Fabinho in it, or a Simicast as well. But it's either of those three, really. But I imagine, like I said, it's the only way we can. The only way I see it is that we keep Neil Williams in there, because we're at home as well. If we were away, I'd be a bit more worried. But we're at home. We should have a good enough team out there to be all right tomorrow, and hopefully get that point that we need. Thankfully.
Yeah. Well, evening, Adam. By the way,
we're doing that.
I think that Shimikas or Robbo is going to start at right back solely because something else came out of the press conference, which was Klopp saying that anyone who's fit is going to start, and his whole rotation thing. So we can assume that Shimikas is going to start, Matip's going to start, Reece is going to start, and Divok's probably going to start. So you'd think, automatically that Tsimikas is going to slot in at left back, but then Andy Robertson comes and does the players' press conference, and you'd assume that if he's doing the players' press conference, he's going to start as well. So if one of them had to go right back, who would you be slotting into that place?
I think I'd put Tsimikas over there only because I think Robbo is at left back. He's just a beast, especially if Mane's playing. You don't want to. We've got too many players out of position as it is. Like if we're playing, say we play obviously in midfield with maybe Curtis Jones or whatever, and we're missing obviously centre halves and whatever. I think putting too many people out of the natural position might influence even more in terms for the deficit, that we might struggle even more. I think we've seen it in the last game, didn't we, where we've got Reece Williams and Neil Williams and Minamino, and I think it was too many changes. I think, and obviously we need to make changes to keep everyone fresh, like Klopp said, and he picks the freshest players. But
yeah.
I think Neil Williams should play tomorrow. I'd be surprised if he doesn't. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? That's the thing.
Yeah, with all the injuries, you don't really know what's going to happen. Probably Mane will probably start giving his little cameo appearance at the weekend, and Curtis Jones as well. But also to come out of the press conference, we got some unfortunate clarification on the Thiago injury. It's been he's close for a number of weeks, and today Jurgi kind of revealed that it was actually a bigger injury than initially thought. Like no tendon damage, no muscle damage, no breaks or anything, but quite a big one. He's going to be out for a few weeks. The Echo reporting maybe even January. It's quite a big loss, isn't it?
Huge, and I think it's the Klopp downplaying everything, and I understand why he's doing it, because he doesn't want to fucking incite panic with everyone. But not getting any info is a bit worse in a way, because you're wondering how long he's going to be out for. But I've seen a tweet today where it slowed down the challenge on him in the derby, and it's like you can understand why he's out. Like his leg's gone the opposite way slightly, like nearly hyperextended. Like that can really do you serious damage. So Thiago, who? Right there, lad. How's it going? Yeah. So the fact that he still managed to finish that Everton game, I think, didn't he? He didn't go off. And then, yeah, like we said on the last pod, we there's no point rushing him back just to in them break down again and be out for another 6 to 8 weeks. There's literally no point. So I know the Echo was saying January, but if Klopp's saying a couple of weeks, like I'm hoping, like I think we play Spurs on the 16th of December, which is 2 weeks on Wednesday, and I hope that's a realistic target, because he would having him back in that game. Obviously, Trent will be back as well. That would be absolutely huge in a game that obviously both top of the league. So that's a 6-pointer, if you want that shitty cliche, that we'll need to win that one just to get some space. And I think having Thiago back in there for that will be absolutely vital, I think.
Yeah, I think the Echo are looking at it from like a worst case scenario point of view of just extending the week period and just not getting our hopes up. Which, to be fair, by January, I definitely want to be seeing Thiago regularly in the lineup. Bit more positive news, however. Trent's looking really close, according to Klopp. Not enough for tomorrow, but he's back on the ball. And Klopp said that given the amount of football that he's seen in his life, the amount of players return from injury, that Trent looks super close. And he dropped an unexpected little hint on Naby possibly playing tomorrow. I think one of the journalists asked Klopp for an injury update, and he said that Shaq and Ox were definitely out for the next few weeks, but they had to check on Naby for tomorrow, which I'd expected Naby to be out a lot longer, I'll be honest. I didn't even think he'd be in contention for tomorrow. We don't really know what happened to Naby. He just sort of went off against Leicester, wasn't it? And now he could be back, which with numbers thinning in midfield is a definite plus. Even if he doesn't play tomorrow, at least for the weekend, it's big, it's huge.
Yeah, it's because, like we said, if we're talking about putting maybe a midfielder at right back, the more midfielders we've got. I mean, at the start of the season, we were like looking through the first team, you're like, bloody hell, how many midfielders have we got? But it's good because they're all versatile as well, so they can all, like, Keita can play left wing or like right or whatever. Like if we need to, we can put these players in different positions and he can still perform to a good enough level to get us wins on the board. So having Keita's back huge, and in that it was Leicester, wasn't it, that he went off?
Yeah.
He was bossing that game, weren't he? Like the first 60 minutes, he was pressing like a madman, and that's what he brings. But it's just getting him on the pitch, like we said before. Like him on the pitch because he's got that quality and he can pick it up from deep and take people on and create havoc and create space. So if he's back tomorrow, even if he's on the bench and he comes on for the last maybe 20 minutes or something, that'd be boss just to have more numbers because we definitely need them at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, his quality is no doubt. Like every time Keita plays, we always seem to say he was boss until he came off, which seems to be the case. Keeping him on the pitch is the issue. Now, the last thing to come from the press conference before we really focus on Ajax is one of the journalists asked Klopp that if Liverpool were to wrap it up tomorrow, would it give him the chance to rotate the squad and focus on the Premier League more? To which Klopp said, "With what players?" Which is a good point. Like, we all want to wrap it up as soon as possible, but to be honest, there's not much rotation that he can do at the moment.
There's not, and that's the thing. Like I said, if the Keita's back, it's huge because we've got a one more body in there that we need. We need as many as we can. Like, I know it's a condensed season and all that, but we couldn't have ever dreamed we'd have this many injuries in a short space of time to all our key players. Like, the fact that we're doing as well as we are is testament to how good this squad is and how strong mentally they are. Because I mean, the last game was really disappointing, like the way it went, like 1-1, conceded in the last minute, but we weren't great. And I think we'll probably see a bit more of that up until the big fellas come back in, like the likes of Trent and that. So it's just getting them back in. But I'm looking forward to seeing Keita tomorrow if he plays. I hope he does. I hope he plays. Like, even just give him an half or something, first half, and then bring him off. And I think that's the thing, and that's the thing we need to do. It's a shame that the players that we've still got available, quite a few of them are quite injury prone in terms of like Keita and Matip and whatever. Like, you just kind of wince every time they're going for a tackle, and you're like, oh fucking hell, not another one.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, and then because of that, and because we've got injuries, it's like double whammy. Because then Klopp thinks, right, well, I need to manage the minutes, like he did at the weekend with Matip, didn't he? Like, he didn't put him in the squad at all, and we were like, well, if it saves him for the rest of the season, then it's sound. But it's just getting them on the pitch, and that's always that big worry for me. That we're gonna wake up one morning like, oh, Matip's got injured in training or whatever, and you're just like, oh, fuck off, another one.
Yeah,
but yeah, all good. If we get these players back in and you can play, and it's just about rotating, and I think that's why Neco-Williams will play tomorrow, because if an injury happened to him, I mean, then it'd leave us with no right back, but at least it wouldn't be another one. Say you put Fabinho right back or Hendo or whatever, and they got snapped by their left winger, we'd be like, oh, why didn't he play Williams right back? But you can't win either way. I mean, if he does, damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. So I can never predict the Klopp lineup anymore, especially with all these injuries. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I mean, Greg's just put here, is Nat Phillips available to play, or is he cup tied? I think he's not in the squad, is he? Like,
yeah, he's on the Champions League squad, which I suppose is good for us, because Nat Phillips has been he's been brilliant in the league. So you'd expect him to be a shoe-in for Wolves. And I don't really think that Fabi will start just because he played at the weekend. Klopp is doing this whole managing minutes thing. So you'd assume it'd be Fabi and Phillips centre-backs for Wolves. So it's more than likely going to be Matip and Williams, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's perfect with me, because obviously Reece Williams has done, like, I think I don't know if it's gone under the radar, but how well he's done, and in the short space of time, getting absolutely flung in from obscurity. Really, no one had really, obviously we'd heard of him, but we didn't know. Like, if you said 6 weeks ago, or like a couple of weeks more than that, like Reece Williams is going to be starting games for Liverpool in the Champions League, whatever else, you would have laughed, because you would have thought, well, Billy the Kid's ahead of him, Billy Kometio, because we all thought he's the next one in line in terms of, I know he's had injury worries, Kometio, but he's back fit now. So I think it's a surprise. And how well, like, between Phillips and Williams, like, we've been lucky really that they've come in and thought, right, this is my chance to stake me claim to stick around in the squad, and they've done that perfectly, to be honest, haven't they? Like, they've performed really well.
I've been really impressed with Nat Phillips, to be honest. He's proper no nonsense. But we'll talk more about Phillips. I'm assuming during the week for the build up to Wolves. No point waxing lyrical if he's not even going to play. So now, touching on Ajax, you'd say the danger man's Dusan Tadic, wouldn't you? Which a few years ago, saying that, you'd have been questioning it, seeing as he he was good at Southampton, but he wasn't anything major. And then he sort of blew up when he went to Ajax. But he's got a lot of quality, and you'd expect him to target more Reece Williams than Joel Matip. Go for the inexperienced lad, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and I think that's the thing we need. Like with Matip in there, like as a centre back pairing, you always need one, don't you? Like we wouldn't if say he threw. Obviously, you can't put Phillips in there, but for a Premier League game, if it was Phillips and Williams, then you'd start to worry. As long as you've got one in there who can deal with, like obviously, like they've got quality, and we've seen that in the reverse fixture, like how good they were. So at Anfield, and they won't be as expansive, I imagine, but they'll still be trying to get in behind and whatever else, and good quality all over the pitch in the right areas, like tricky wingers and whatever. So we've got to be on it. And like Matip's not played at the weekend, so it's perfect because he comes in. He'll be fresh. He can carry the ball out from the back, which we didn't really have at the weekend. Obviously, Fabinho in there, he can do it. But I think Matip's just in terms of a ball carrying defender, he's up there with the best in the world for me. Like I said, it's just his injury problems that have held him back a lot. But he's in terms of ball carrying, he's up there with the best. So I think that'll be vital tomorrow in terms of because I don't know how it depends how they set up. Like it depends if they want to press as high and. Obviously, we'll have our main fellas up the other end of the pitch, the likes of Salah, I imagine. Do you reckon Salah, Mane and Bobby is the front three, or?
I'm thinking Mane, Div, and the third one. I'm not really sure. Maybe Taki. I know that Taki played a lot. He played the full game, didn't he, against Brighton? But out of the three of them, out of Bobby, Salah, Diogo Jota and Taki, if one was to get injured, you'd prefer it to be Taki. So I think he's going to look at those four and maybe say, okay, out of all these players, I'm going to risk Taki and not the rest.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I know. It's just that's the mean. It's just trying to pick and choose what games you want to risk. I mean, we did the same last week, didn't he, with the Atlanta game, and we were like, right, for Brighton, everyone's going to be fresh, and obviously he picked a few surprise picks. Like Minamino was very surprising. Obviously, we all thought Mane was going to play, but it's just trying to manage these minutes. And tomorrow it's not going to be any walkover, like you said. They've got quality all over the pitch, so it's just I don't know. I hope we come out flying. Like it's been obviously Leicester game we did really well, but coming out from the blocks 90 miles an hour and getting a couple of goals, it seems like a long time ago. I don't know if that's just me, but that would be perfect scenario tomorrow to get a couple on the board, and then we can take players off. I think that's what we'll probably hope to do, and that's why I imagine we'll probably go standard front three. I'd be surprised if he didn't, because if he yeah, I'd be surprised if he doesn't. Only because if they end up scoring and then we're chasing the game and it doesn't happen, then it's going. Then when we're still going to the last game needing something, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, I reckon top end of the pitch we go as strong as we can in terms of Bobby, Sadio. Can't get my teeth in there, lad. The usual front three, I reckon. I'd be surprised if not. Only, like I said, only because we need a point, but a win would just go right. There we go, sorted. Then last game against your favourite midget land, we can mess around and have it. Not mess around, but like throw like a couple more of the youth players in if you wanted to, and just give them a run out and go. This is what it's like to play for Liverpool.
I think Div will definitely start. I think Mane will start as well, given that he started on the bench against Brighton. And maybe you're right. Maybe he throws a Bobby or a Salah in. But at the moment, you really don't know. It'd be perfect if Shaq was fit. If Shaq was fit, then I could tell you that it was going to be Div, Shaq, and Sadio. But you don't know at the moment with all the injuries we have. It's a shame. But you touched on it there as well. What happens if they get a goal? And to be honest, the way that Ajax play, if they came at us, and I think they will, they stand a good chance of going top of the group and putting us in a tricky situation against Midgetland. Because if Ajax get beat tomorrow, and you'd assume that Atalanta beat Midgetland, then they're in a tricky spot. The last game of the group against the Italians. So I do think that they're going to go for it.
Yeah. So yes. So Ajax away in the last game, are they? Or did you say?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So yes, that plays into it as well. So I mean, they're away for 2 games in a row, if that's true. So
They're home for Atlanta, but it's still without fans. It's basically it doesn't matter.
yeah, I mean, like let's look at it now. So we're on 9, goal difference +6. Ajax 7, goal difference +2. Atalanta 7 points +1, and then obviously Midtjylland -9, goal difference, no points.
Yeah.
So yeah, I still think they'll come out flying tomorrow, trying to, because the earlier they can do it, the better. Really, like they're not going to want to like have to go down to the last game against the team they need to do it against. Like they're going to come out full strength and hope to get a few goals early on and like pushes like Atalanta did. Like we didn't expect Atalanta to go the way it did.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, I imagine they'll be saying within the squad, like, let's do the exact same as they've done and press them high and don't give them a minute on the ball, 100% in every tackle. So I'd be very surprised if it was anything but that.
Yeah, I'm fully expecting Ajax to come out and proper have a go at Liverpool, because it's what we said against Leicester. If there's ever a time to get at Liverpool at Anfield, now is it. And Ajax have the players, maybe not the most well known, maybe not the most world class, but dangerous that could do some damage against an inexperienced side, especially if you've got an out of form Nico Williams playing at right back or a left back playing at right back. We're definitely there to be got at, and you just hope that maybe we're completely wrong, maybe we bossed the game, but Ajax aren't a team to be taken lightly.
Definitely not. I think that's why, like, we've got to be prepared that they're gonna come to Anfield and be like, right, we're gonna try and replicate exactly what Atalanta did, and we need to be on the ball completely. Like, and that's why Matip playing is huge, because having a centre half there who's absolutely boss on the ball and is great at everything, apart from being injured a lot, then it works in our favour. And I think someone said it earlier, did they? Let's have a look. Yeah, Martin Barton said having Hendo back will massively help Neco if he starts, which is true, because if Neco starts right back, Hendo's going to be right of a 3 in midfield. He can cover for him if need be, and just kind of marshal him in that game. Like he just needs like you can see in that Brighton game, his confidence was absolutely shot. Like he wasn't even like, even before giving away the pen, he was like, you could tell every pass was kind of backwards or just safe, and he was like he was scared to do something wrong, which I completely understand, because there's a lot of eyes on him and there's a lot of pressure on him, because he's worried about making a mistake. So it's that, and he just needs to be played into form, like I said. I think that's why he plays again tomorrow. Just give him, that'll be 3 in a row for him, Mona, if he plays tomorrow. That's like, I don't think in his wildest dreams he ever thought he'd play 3 in a row for Liverpool at this early stage of his career. But he needs the game time. He needs to, especially with like a full strength team against the boss Ajax side, like we said in the Atlanta game. If anything could have been took from it, it was that Neco Williams. Did Neco Williams play against Atalanta? I'm getting proper confused here. He did, didn't he?
When we just lost.
Yeah,
he played.
Yeah, so like that game and like the Brighton game, it's all perfect for us development. That's the thing. So we need to just keep playing him, see what happens. If it goes to shit, it goes to shit. That's the thing. And we need to maybe expect that. But with having Hendo there, like Martin said, is perfect, because he can give him confidence there, and we know he's got the quality. He's quick enough. He's got a good touch, and that defensively he's okay. I mean, obviously the penalty he gave away on the weekend was shit, and it was a bit rash, and it was a bit you could tell it was a youth player, like a young lad in there that's just trying to make up for an error, being out of position, trying to come back and get sorted out and make a tackle. But once he's got that confidence, like we know he's got a good cross on him, he can get overlapping, he's got pace. It's just he needs the confidence, and it's the same with Bobby. Like I think Bobby's been a bit better since he got that goal. I think maybe if he gets grabs an assist or he makes a boss tackle, that's all it takes. Like one great tackle where, like, obviously having the crowd would have been even better, because he'd gain energy from that, because especially being on the side of the pitch, all the fans like obviously cheering him on and everything, like, and putting tackles in, you get all that adrenaline, and the fact that they're not there doesn't help him either. But yeah, we just need to. I think he's going to be great, and we just need to persist with him. For me,
fair enough. You talked there, and I think you brought up Martin's comment about having Hendo in. I'm scared of starting Hendo, to be honest. And I think anyone that watches this podcast regularly knows that I'm a big admirer of Jordan Henderson. I think he's one of the most, if not the most important player in our team. The whole complexion of what our team looks like changes when he's not there. The energy that he brings, the leadership he brings, everything. But he's just got back from injury. And we have, in theory, got the breathing room to mess it up tomorrow and then go to Denmark. Denmark, right? Go to Denmark and beat Midtjylland. So I'd look to rest Henderson for Wolves, because the way that things are going, I don't want to risk losing him for longer.
Completely see what you mean, but I think if this is a perfect time just to go, right, let's go at least full strength start. Even if maybe if we're one goal up, you might bring him off towards the end just to preserve him. But I struggle to see how he's going to rest. I'd be absolutely shell shocked if he rests Hendo tomorrow. If I'm being truthfully honest, just because we need that point, and I think Klopp will be thinking we need that point just to get us over the line. And then it puts all the games that we're playing now, it's 100% pressure. If that we can at least allow one game where we're like, right, no pressure here, let's go and play some of the young lads, maybe get them a goal or whatever, get them a bit of confidence. Necho Williams in a lesser game where there's no pressure at all, then I think it'd be wrong not to do that. So I think that's why I think we'll go as strong as possible.
So you're leaning on the side of he'll go strong 11 and then sub in the fringe, as opposed to start fringe and then, if need be, bring on the heavy duty.
Yeah, well, that's what we did at the weekend, didn't we? We played Minamino. We played a couple of other lads who you not surprised, but it's a different player in there. And I think we had Hendo, Jones, and Mane on the bench. So I'll be surprised if he does that 2 games in a row, especially in a game where we just get over the line. Even if we just draw 0-0 or whatever, 1-1, score, draw, it doesn't really matter as long as we get that point, secure it, and then we can crack on with. Was it Wolves on? Is it Sunday? Is it? So.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so that's the way I'd go. But if you can give us your comments, who you think the starting 11 will be, then we'll put some of them up and have a little discussion about them. But yeah, Dave just said it won't be easy tomorrow, which it won't, because the boss, Jay's chatting about my beard. Nice one, lad.
All right, I'm going to throw an injury list at you.
Go on then, throw it at me.
You're going to try build an 11 excluding these players that you think will start tomorrow. Sound good?
Go on then.
All right, so Joe Gomez out, Trent out, Ox out, Van Dijk out, Shaq, Thiago, and Milner all out. And let's count Keita as half-half, because it's not confirmed that he's okay, but it's just sort of hinted at. So considering all that, who is your 11 for tomorrow?
Okay, so Alisson.
Yep.
Necho Williams. Matip.
Yeah.
Reece Williams.
Yeah.
Robbo. Then I'd go, if Keita's fit, I think you go Hendo on the right of a 3. You go Genie sitting. You go Keita on the left, and then you go front 3. Easy.
Okay.
Who are you going for?
I think there'll be a change in formation, 2-3-1, as opposed to the usual 4-3-3. It'll be Ali, Robbo on the right, then Reece and Matip in the middle, Shimikas on the left. I think midfield 2.
Think he rest Robbo?
No, I think Robbo on the right.
Oh, sorry, I completely zoned out. Obviously, so Robbo on the right.
Yeah, I think they put Robbo on the right.
Really?
He's out. Millie's out. Millie's out.
No, I know, yeah, but like, are you not thinking maybe like a Hendo or Fab or Neco Williams there? No.
Although I'd want to rest Henderson and wrap him in cotton wool, I think he's going to have to start, and I think he'll start in the DM position with, I'd say, Naby's fit. So those two will be the pivots, and then they'll go. I'll go Taki, Mane. This gets complicated now. Taki, Mane. I'll go Bobby, and then up front Divock. I think he rests Salah and Diogo.
You reckon he starts Divock Origi?
Yeah, I think he starts Divock Origi. Unfortunately.
Well, we've got one here from Dan J. Nice one, lad. We've got Alisson, Neco, Matip, Reece, Robertson, Gini, Jones, Jota, Firmino, Mane, Salah, and that's pretty fucking strong, isn't it? Yeah. That is strong as fuck. So, yeah, so the only difference that I said, what was that, Matt? Sorry.
Starting the number 10, and you could rest Bobby. It's just picking a Liverpool 11 at the moment is complicated beyond belief, because I feel like we could all give an 11 and no one's getting it right.
Yeah, and I think Jones is a good shout. I think I fucking forgot about Jones, to be honest. But and like Jota, I feel like he's played. I know everyone's played loads recently, but I want him fit and firing for Wolves, because he's going to be fired up anyway for that against obviously his old club. So I'd be surprised. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he started, but in my opinion, I'd love to see him on the bench, just to maybe, if we need him, come off towards the end. Divock Origi wouldn't be getting anywhere near it as a starter for me, because we want to start 90 miles an hour, and I don't think with Divock in there, I don't think that happens, and I think he proved that in the last game, unfortunately. Like, I love Divock, but if he plays, he slows it down. Like, if you 2-0 up, then yeah, go on, throw him on the left or up front, and you can hold it up a little bit. But when the pressure's on, I mean, he's scored some absolutely iconic goals and whatever, and he'll go down Anfield folklore as a legend for the stuff he's done. But I don't think he's at the minute. I don't know if it's a confidence issue or whatever, or he's just out of match practice. But I don't think I'd be very, like, if he dropped Hendo, I'd be very surprised if he started Divock tomorrow. But we'll have another discussion. We'll do another, obviously, a video tomorrow before the once the announcement's made, starting 11, and then we'll have a little laugh about it, because you might be right.
I'd be very surprised if Divock doesn't start.
Really?
I think he's nailed on, and I think Shimikas is quite nailed on as well. I think those two are definites. I think the rest of the squad, apart from Reece Williams and Matip's and Alisson, is kind of up in the air. But I suppose we'll see. So before we shoot off, score prediction.
I'm gonna go for.
And obviously this will change after you see the lineup tomorrow. But
yeah, it will. It will. If Divock's starting, it'll definitely change. I mean, I love Divock, but it will change. I'm gonna go 2-1 to Liverpool.
All right, I'm gonna go 0-0.
It's not like you. You're usually like 7-5 for Liverpool.
Yeah, nah, I'm gonna go 0-0.
Go ahead, sound. So we'll be back tomorrow with a reaction to the team news. I think kickoff's what, 8, is it?
Yeah.
So we're back at 7, then we'll be back after for an analysis of that game. So cheers, Matt, and we will see you next time.